students, welcome to the online video teaching from Sri Shankaracharya Vidyalaya. Hope you are all well and in high spirits, good health. So this is the third part of your chapter, very interesting chapter, the story of village Palampur. Let us see what it contains. Earlier we have read about this chapter that main activity of Palampur is farming, and the story of Palampur, an imaginary village, will take us through the different types of production activities in the village. We have read the different production activities over here. About the village, the Palampur is well connected with the neighboring villages and towns. Raiganj is a big village, is 3 kilometers from Palampur. And just now I said that farming is the main activity in Palampur, whereas several other activities such as small scale manufacturing, dairy, transport, etc. are carried out on a limited scale. So the types of production activities need various types of resources like natural resources, man-made items, human effort, money, etc. And apart from the normal procedures, the aim of production is to produce the goods and services that they want. The four requirements for the production of the goods and services are land, labor, physical capital, fixed capital, working capital, what we call the factors of production also. And here the land is fixed. I said about the farming is the main production activities in Palampur. And regarding the land area, cultivation is practically fixed. Since 1960 in Palampur, there was been no expansion in land area under cultivation. Now, is there any one way is there a way one can grow more from the same land? It means that the land is fixed and more production is required from that land. Regarding that topic, we have read about the multiple cropping and modern farming methods. So modern farming methods, while reading it, we have learned about the green revolution. We have read about the using of the high-yielding seeds. We have read about the using the more fertilizers, and apart from the traditional traditional method, what it wants that the traditional seeds and cow dungs at natural manures and fertilizers. Apart from that, in the modern farming method, we have found that plenty of water, chemical fertilizers and pesticides to produce the better results. Now, what is green revolution? Many of the times we have heard this name through this chapter, the methods of green revolution. It is a multiple cropping system, seeds with superior genetics, that is using the HYB seeds, proper irrigation system, because this sort of seeds and the pesticides, insecticides, they need a lot of water, that is the irrigation facility should be very high. So pesticides and fertilizers are used in this procedure, and modern machines, expansion of the farming area. So more cropping, more surplus cropping and more production, it gives the economy high, because apart from domestic use, it can be used as an economic procedure also. So here a question comes, will the land sustain? Because if we continuously using the chemical fertilizers, then insecticides, pesticides and these green revolutionary procedures, that is using the continuous use of the groundwater for tube well and irrigation facilities, this may create the land degradation also. So land should be sustained, and land being a natural resource, it is necessary to be careful in its use. So scientific reports indicate that the modern farming methods have overused the natural resource base. So what to do? In many areas, the green revolution is associated with the loss of soil fertility, and due to increase the use of chemical fertilizers. Also, continuous use of groundwater for tubewell irrigation, just now we said, has led to depletion on the water table. So, environmental resources like soil fertility and groundwater are built up over years. If it is destroyed, or once it is destroyed, it is very difficult, or it can be create difficulty to restore them. So we must take care of proper environment to ensure the future development of the agriculture. So these are the high yielding seeds. The picture is showing you that, and the fertilizers, they are using the high yielding seeds. Along with it, you can see the person is spraying the lot of fertilizers and insecticides, pesticides to get rid of the pest and increase the amount of irrigation or the crops by using the artificial fertilizers. That is harmful for the plants, and these things, while going into the water, into the rivers, it gets the water pollution also. And while we are taking this, consuming this sort of plants or grains or crops, we are also making ourselves health hazards. So green revolution versus traditional agriculture. So green revolution introduced the high yielding variety of the crops to India. It requires the input of agrochemicals, that is pesticides and fertilizers. New irrigation technologies or techniques were implemented. The seeds and agrochemicals needed to obtain from NGOs or the large distributors. These farmers get benefited by these agrochemicals or the fertilizers because they are increasing their yield. They are using the high variety of seeds for the surplus production, but created the difficult environment for the small farmers. Seeds have traditionally been harvested yearly in the field. Now farming requires a lot of inputs. This created a problem for the small farmers. Those do not have that much of monetary capacity to get all these benefits, because irrigation facility and the taxes given for the irrigation and to buy the seeds, that creates a problem for them. Now, will the land sustain? One more. The consumption of chemical fertilizers in Punjab is the highest in the country. So chemical fertilizers provide minerals and dissolve in water and immediately available to the plants. This may not be retained to soil for long. They may escape from soil and pollute the underground. Just now I said, if the groundwater is polluted, that kills the aquatic animals through the rivers and lakes, because they also, the water from the lakes and rivers also get polluted, and it creates the water pollution, and it creates our health hazards also. So chemical fertilizers also kill bacteria and microorganisms in the soil. These chemical fertilizers or the pesticides, they kills the normal or original soil capacity, which is also a very negative part of this using the artificial fertilizers. Now, the consumption of the chemical fertilizers in Punjab is the highest in the country. The continuous use of chemical fertilizers has led to degradation of the soil health, because once the degradation takes place, we have to use more and more fertilizers or more and more chemical fertilizers and insecticides and pesticides and lot of other requirements and other technical requirements to make the upgradation of the soil quality. So it means that this means the cost of cultivation is rising very high. So we have environmental sustainability, that is shift to renewable resources. We know what's the meaning of renewable, that is limiting consumption of the non-renewable resources. This way we can maintain the environmental sustainability and integrational decision, that is making the economic decision based on long-term consequences. If we are taking the concept of economic decisions to making our high yielding, and it will create naturally upliftment in our economic condition, but on the not in short run, it should be a long-term consequence. And the target welfare, not GDP. The value measures of economic and social welfare are more than the GDP. Not only we will think about the gross domestic products, but we have to think about the social welfare also. Just now we talked about the pollution, we talked about the soil degradation, we talked about the health degradation. That is, we have to think of this social welfare also. So avoid the excess of pollution. Pollution can cause damage to health and the earth atmosphere. So pollution, just now we were talking about the pollutions. If we are having the fertilizers industries that is creating the fertilizers for the farmers, the ashes, the pollution, the excess, that is the remedies of this and residues, or the remaining parts of this unused things that is getting from this industries, this sort of industries, chemical industries, that may create a water pollution or the lake pollutions. And apart from this, it may create the atmospheric pollutions also. It protects the health of the ecosystem, avoid the ecosystem becoming irreparably damaged. So if the polluted things are going to the water, it may create the aquatic ecosystems also. So apart from our human ecosystems, that the aquatic ecosystem also get disrupted. So this is about the economic sustainability. So this is the chapter we read about the sustain. How will the land sustain, or how to sustain the land? So to avoid or to get rid of this all the hazards, we have to sustain the land. That is the environmental sustainability. That is all about this video today. We have read about the will the land sustain. That is the negative part of this, using the modern and the multiple cropping system and the green revolution, that is using the high yield seeds, using the fertilizers, getting the surplus production through the chemical productions, using the chemical products. So these are the negative part or the demerits of this whole of this chapter, that is regarding the use of chemical, artificial of the chemical substances. So thank you for this video today. Next we will come up with the land distribution system of the farmers of Palampur. Thank you.